This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
It's really hot in here.
It is extremely hot in here, and we have...
I like how you said it in the same, inflection as, what's up, guys?
we have a weird podcast for you. Let's just put it that way.
Last thing we recorded.
We have recorded everything out of order.
It's a little confusing.
Start the podcast with KD and Kyrie going to New York. This is the last segment for this podcast. We have the long NBA mailbag that's an hour and 45 minutes long. We have Wet Boys that was about 15. And then I'm going to leave at some point. Well, it's going to be KD, Kyrie, Wet Boys, mailbag. And then I'm going to leave after mailbag because Ricky and Dave did me a huge favor. I had to work yesterday, but we set up a Patreon with our new patron, John.
It was great.
Patron segment on the sleepers in the NBA draft, and that went 55 minutes. So you guys have a ton of content coming. We want to thank Ricky and Dave for their work yesterday. I want to thank John for being a patron coming on, and we want to thank you for watching and listening. So if you are listening and you are watching, you like what you're hearing, you like the hours and hours of content, you love Ricky's work editing it all.
This is going to be our first ever, I think, 3 hour, probably 3.5 hour podcast.
No, we've done 3 hours
No,
before.
Not 3.5 though.
Okay.
NBA draft?
Well, we'll see.
NBA
draft, we've gotten over 3.
We've gone 3.
But I do just want to thank all you guys, and if you do want to help us out, rating us 5 stars on iTunes is absolutely huge, or also being like John and checking out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That is also huge. So we want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting. Let's get into it. KD and Kyrie to New York. It's been a rumor.
Mock Draft 2.0 was 307.
Boom.
I was like, I know we teetered on that 3 hour border like 2 different times.
For sure. Because we did a thing where the 1 through 10 was like an hour and a half, and then we were like, oh, we'll keep it quick for the next one. And then the 21 through 30 was like 40 minutes long.
You know what I love? Like the last 2, Mock Draft 3.0, Trade Deadline, 2.5, 252, even like Trade Rumors, Anthony Davis, that was like 215. The Kristaps Porzingis, 1 segment, an hour. And then, let's see, one of our lowest was, I had 1:15. I'm holding up. I'm hijacking this podcast.
Let's hurry up.
He's a numbers junkie.
I am a numbers junkie.
You could tweet it out.
But then you've got like the one where we're talking about the Jimmy Butler trade after he got heated in practice.
Yeah.
Hour 20.
Nice.
4 topics.
I missed that.
I mean, the fact that the season goes on, it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, we talked about Jimmy Butler, Ryan McDonough,
Juicy,
and then
Sean. I think Juicy describes
Murray
exactly what we're trying to do with these topics.
And what was super juicy was the video that came out from All-Star break of KD and Kyrie in a hallway, and Kyrie apparently mouths there's 2 max or something along the lines.
Smooth transition there.
Yes. It's extremely juicy thing that people have been dissecting. And obviously the rumors have been huge of KD and Kyrie going to New York after the Kristaps Porzingis trade. They opened up 2 max. So let's talk about it. KD and Kyrie going to New York. I bet New York fans love that I am seeing this. They most likely are just avoiding this segment like the plague. I just want to say, like we said in the mailbag, we don't hate your team. I think New York fans are extremely dedicated. It's just the truth. You guys haven't signed anyone in 17 years, and who is on your roster? It's nothing against the Mecca. It's nothing against the New York Knicks as a franchise. It's nothing against the fans. It's just who is on your roster, and if I was a free agent, I don't know why I would be enticed to go to New York. But let's talk about it. Kyrie and KD going to New York. How possible in your mind do you think it is?
Oh, very possible. More so for KD than Kyrie. And the reason why I say that is I listened to the Herd this week, and he talked about it just like we are. And the one thing that he brought up was that, and this is an interesting thing with KD that I think needs to be brought up, is how much does KD want to be seen that he is better than LeBron when it's all said and done? And in my mind, I've said it before on this podcast, I will say it again. KD, if you want to be seen at the end that you are better than LeBron, go to New York and win one for the Knicks. Because if you win one in the Knicks,
it doesn't work that
way.
is
going to be way more impactful than 3 more with the Warriors.
Before we jump in on that, I think we'll talk about that and why you think that. But I want to just go back to you. Not attack you. I want to go back to you.
He
No, you want to attack me?
No. What would be the reason why Kyrie would want to go?
Kyrie?
Yeah, what's the reasoning for Kyrie? Because you're talking about KD, winning one would help his legacy.
That's the reason why I said KD for sure, Kyrie because Kyrie's an interesting one.
But you don't think they're a combo then? You think KD will go solo to New York?
I think KD needs to find out who his Robin is going to be. Who's that two he's going to bring with him? I bet he'd love to bring Kyrie, but I wouldn't be shocked if LeBron is also in Kyrie's ear and is like, hey, why don't you come over here to LA? We can do what we used to do old times over here and win some championships. Oh, that's right. You're kind of seeing what I was kind of telling you in Cleveland. Why don't you come over here to LA? So that's where Kyrie, I could see him being a Laker. I could see him being a Knick. But for Kevin Durant, I think that it's clear where it comes down to, and like the Herd mentioned and how he brought it up was after the first ring in Golden State, he was like 10% people were like, Kevin Durant is better than LeBron. And they were quickly washed away. Then the next one happens. And a little bit more, maybe like 20%, 25%, 30%. Kevin Durant is better than LeBron. A little bit more sticking power. If they win again this year and he's the MVP, that percentage is going to grow increasingly. And for me, at that point, yes, you can keep winning in Golden State. But the thing is, if you stay in Golden State and win, people over time will say, yeah, but that was a great team. Like, that was a great team. Yeah, Kevin Durant was the best. There are some where it's like, man, Steph really could have been the MVP this year over Kevin Durant in these finals. But if he goes to New York, wins one in New York, that on his legacy is going to be far different and maybe more impactful than continuing to win championships with a Warriors team.
I think that the Warriors team are potentially in danger of running into the old Celtics team that we'll bring up later in this show. But I just think that if he goes to New York, yes, he will do something that, he will try to do something that has been done in a very long time since the Phil Jackson days.
The first Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson, the player, not the GM, or owner, whatever the hell his role, president of basketball operations. But I think I almost want to look at this in a more spiteful way. If he goes there and Kyrie goes there and he loses, can you imagine what happens then?
The hate of New York fans?
Oh, not only the hate of the New York fans, but also the LeBron lovers are like, you got Kyrie and KD and you couldn't get it done? Like, there's no way this guy's ever going to be as good as LeBron James. Like, LeBron and Kyrie want to ship. How come they can't? They're in the weak East. LeBron's not even, like, you got nobody to argue with over there. I just think that if he does end up going there and they do pair him with a Kyrie Irving and they choke, media goes nuts. Goes nuts.
The thing that I think also plays into it is Anthony Davis and Kawhi. Because if Anthony Davis doesn't go to Boston, all right, that Boston team isn't any stronger than they already are. Plus,
they get weaker with losing Kyrie.
That too. They're losing Kyrie either to the Lakers or the Knicks. And then if Kawhi moves over, that's why I'm like,
a terrible argument.
At least with talent.
Oh yeah, by
the
far.
team is still there, but
joking.
KD can compete with that team. Then you look at Kawhi. If Kawhi stays in Toronto, all right, it's a little bit different. That Raptors team might be someone we have to compete with. And if he moves to LA, either the Lakers or the Clippers, all right, he's in the Western Conference. Then that means KD, the only team that could be a real threat. Jake, I'm throwing some shade at you because the Sixers, I don't think are going to be in the picture to be a championship team. I think it comes down to the Bucks, the Knicks, and then the Celtics.
And I just want to add on to this as well, because we're talking about we're talking about top 10 players and where they can possibly go. You have to look at Milwaukee and you have to look at Chris Middleton. Because if he doesn't sign, that makes that team work out.
Well, he was the first reserve off the board in the All-Star game.
It was,
and he actually played really well in that All-Star game.
I think I'm clearly joking because he's not a top 10 player, but I think that is still an important signing. Because if Chris Middleton does go and chases the money somewhere, especially out west, that makes them worse. But
not only Chris Middleton, also Malcolm Brogdon.
That's true.
The president,
but he's RFA. I believe.
He is an RFA,
so that's going to be a little bit easier to keep around. I just think that if the Bucks stay strong, the Sixers stay strong by signing all four of their players. If the Raptors stay strong by keeping Kawhi, the Celtics, and then you add just KD, and let's say Kyrie stays in Boston, I think it's a horrible.
Do you think he could? Do you think he could win with just himself? Because I don't.
No, I don't think he's. If it was just KD, and let's say their number one overall, their pick, whether that be RJ, Cam, Zion, Ja Morant, I think at best at best they're a 4 seed.
This is how it'll play out. July 1st will come around. KD will not sign.
I think he's the last person to sign.
We're going to wait. No, what he's going to do is he's going to kind of see where the atmosphere goes. All right, who kind of pull a LeBron, because LeBron did the same thing of like, okay, let me see what the landscape is kind of doing here.
That's what I'm saying. He's the
and
last
then
person
make
to sign.
a move. Or he might be like, hey, I'm going to try to get Kyrie. All right, Kyrie said no. All right, try to get this guy.
That's what's
all right,
happening,
this guy
yeah.
said no. All right, I didn't get anybody. Hey, Golden State, I'll come back.
How about
Let's
a
win some
1-1?
more. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's why I think he's going to be the last person to sign. I think he's
Yeah.
going to wait his time. I think he's going to see what Klay does. If Klay stays in Golden State, it makes Golden State easier. I don't think it's clear cut that
Clay's another one. Forgot about him.
Yeah,
Also, Draymond.
Draymond's
Draymond's good this year.
They could move him, is what I'm
They
saying.
could move
Because
him,
the
but-
whole, because that's another thing. The whole drama from earlier in the season. How much of that is still an impact,
I
and
don't
how
think
much
so.
of that is? Are we looking too much into that?
Also, his other teammate DeMarcus Cousins also a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at it and I think he's going to see where all the pieces land and where he fits. And if Golden State stays mostly intact, Draymond's still there, Klay's there, Steph's there, because we haven't seen any outbursts from Draymond and KD since. They could be absolutely fine. We don't know their private conversations. I think that if that stays hold and the East stays still tough and Chris Middleton stays, Kyrie stays, Kawhi stays, all the Philadelphia 76ers stay, I think that makes it way, way easier of a decision for him to stay in San Francisco and play for the Golden State Warriors. I just find it tough to see a way where Kevin Durant would see that as an opportunity to win an NBA title with the New York Knicks. Because even if he gets Kyrie and he gets, let's say they get the number 1 overall pick in Zion, I think that it's going to make a really great team, but that doesn't guarantee a ring because you're going to have a top 2 player in the NBA in Kevin Durant, but you've seen the best player in the NBA. He has a losing record in the finals. So that really doesn't mean anything. You have star power, but how else is that team going to be filled around? It seems like they want to keep DeAndre Jordan, so that helps fill out the 5. But then again, who else is going to shoot and score from the outside on that team? Because DeAndre Jordan's not going to do that. Zion's not going to do that. Are you going to have Frank out there? Frank can't shoot from the outside. Alonzo Trier is going to be on the team. I think he's got a team option. So he'll be able to stay, but are you going to put him at 3? Dotson has another year. He's a great 3-point shooter, but is he starter level?
No.
Kevin Knox is out there, but I don't think Kevin Knox is a great enough 3-point shot to stand out from the outside. He's a good 3-point shooter, but I don't think he's going to be able to stand into a KD, Kyrie, Zion starting 5 and be able to be that 5th option who is literally, kind of Kevin loved and just put in a corner to shoot threes and spread the floor. I think it'd be very tough for him to see that as a way to win a title in his first year.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen at all if he does sign and Kyrie signs and they get Zion. But I think it'd be very, very tough, especially with Kawhi on a long-term deal, Giannis on a long-term deal, because I think he's going to re-up, all the 76ers on long-term deals. I think it just makes it extremely tough to go over there when you could have your best chance of winning with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. Adding rings is more important than taking a shot.
The thing you have to add also is and let's say Kyrie and KD go there will then be veterans. I'm not talking about the max players. I'm talking about the little vets. There will be little vets that are being like, hey, I can fit on this team. I am now interested in New York that I wasn't before.
That's fine, but what players would be doing that? And are they the players that are on the level of Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston who were able to change that franchise for the Warriors to make them even more solidified?
Let's be honest, before they became Chandre Livendala, they were not as highly touted as we put them at.
Well, Iguodala was an all-star.
No,
so
I know, but
I
he
just
was
think that
on the, I would say, the tail end where it was like, we were like,
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to find those right guys because outside of those guys and DeMarcus Cousins, like, which players have you looked at as those veteran signings at like the mid-level exception or like even like the minimum that have changed a franchise like that?
No,
none come to my mind.
Very thin list. You mentioned DeMarcus Cousins. I was just like, what if KD talks Boogie into going?
I think that'd be interesting. I think that's
Kyrie,
what I was
They seem to have a great relationship. That one would be interesting.
Kyrie, KD, and Boogie all in New
You
York.
can't get
do that.
Kyrie.
Okay.
Contractually, there's no way that they would pay all 3. They just don't have the money.
Boogie's going after the highest contract you can get. So if you're going to get Boogie, you need to sign him to a max.
So if Kyrie decides to stay home or go to LA, then
Could you imagine if the Knicks got they already have 2
it's a consolation prize for KD, I guess. But I still don't know if that team wins a championship.
And
I don't think they would.
That's my thing is like...
I don't know. Yeah, I was going to say, timeline, do you think, okay, if he signs up whatever the max, like an outrageous deal for him, so it'll be a 4-year with a player op instead, and I don't know that he would be able to win a championship without that third guy, because like you said, if you can pull that second all-star, whether it's Boogie or whether it's Kyrie, whoever it could be for that second max, if they do an Anthony Davis deal and win some magic out of that one. But I don't know if that team's going to win a championship, because he's been on great teams.
Yeah.
Like, no denying, the Warriors team was amazing. But I look back at his time with the Thunder, and I'm like, dude, you couldn't get it done with Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams. Like, you had a very good
healthy
team.
Jeff Green at one point.
Yeah, I say
Cantor,
yeah. I mean, that's...
Well,
I look at him and I don't know if he's going to get it done.
And that's another thing that might play into it.
When better players are on the team.
And that might play into it in his head, where there might be people saying, hey, well, you got these rings not because of you. You got these rings because of Steph, because of Clay, because of the team you were on.
Because of Dre? Yep.
Because of Dre, and it's like...
I just wanted to fuck with you.
The fuck? But, hey, man, Dre be cray-cray, you know what I'm saying? But...
We've been in this room for 5 hours.
That might be a little bit. That might be a little bit into it. Of like, hey, you know what? I want to prove I can do it.
Right, but
I want to prove I can do it without Steph, without Clay.
He can have that mentality. I don't know if he can actually do it.
No, and that's the
point.
thing. He's going to have to prove, but that might play into it as well. It might.
Do you think
we don't know?
Career-wise, do you think it would be a better move to take the risk on New York rather than stay with the Warriors and continue to be the most dominant franchise?
Right now, no. I think that Kevin Durant is still young. He's not like LeBron age. I know LeBron's not tailing off at all.
33.
But KD's only 30.
Yep.
So KD can take that 4-year deal in Golden State, rack up as many rings as he can, and then still take a chance when he's 34 years old, be producing at a high level, and still try to take that shot.
Yeah.
I think you can take that shot when you are a little bit older, because KD's game will gracefully age. I think right now, capitalize on your talent, capitalize on yourself, capitalize on your ability to prove yourself as a winner, because he's done that in the past 2 years. Yes, he's going to the best team in the NBA, but also he's gone into the playoffs every single year, and it's been dominant. So if he does that and continues to do that with the Warriors, I think that's more for his legacy. And then once you have those and you've built up that legacy, then you go to a New York and you take a shot like that. Or you go to a Toronto who's never had an NBA championship. You go to like a Portland Trailblazers who haven't won for a long time. I think Walton might have won one in 75. I'm not entirely sure. But like you go to a place that has been deprived of an NBA championship, maybe like a Chicago. That's when you take your shot, is when you're a little bit older. Because I think that right now is not the time to risk it. Because we look at LeBron. LeBron was going after that window. LeBron's been at that window for the past 9 years. Then he went and made the decision for himself. I think now you make the time for your legacy, because this is the best you will be at 30. Go after what your legacy means right now, and then do what you want for yourself later.
And that's why I'm on the other side as you. And the reason why I say that is, Sean, whose shirt are you wearing right now?
Tom Brady.
What team does Tom Brady play for?
The New England Patriots.
Who's the head coach and the GM of the Patriots?
Bill Belichick.
What has Bill Belichick always believed in when making moves about players? To let a guy go to what rather than to blank?
Too early.
Too
late.
soon rather than too late. And
so what does that have to do with
the
KD?
thing I bring in with KD with that is take the risk now. Don't take the risk when you're 34 and you're getting to that cliff. Take the risk now where you're heading into that prime, where you can do that in New York. Yes, it depends on, you got to bring someone else with you, but the same thing goes with the Warriors. This Warrior dynasty is not going to last forever.
I mean, it could.
It's not going to last forever.
If Clay and KD come back,
I guarantee it will not last forever.
My thing to argue that was that I don't think Kevin Durant's going to fall off this cliff at 34.
No.
I think he's going to be the same. I think he's going to be very similar to the same player he is right now at 34.
But look at LeBron. He made a move, and LeBron is,
a shit team.
He might still get to the playoffs, but the final streak is over. Like, we're ready to just write that off because we know he's not getting to the finals. But the thing with KD is, I look at it and I go, okay, this Warrior train is going to end at some time. The Lakers are going to get better, especially if Anthony Davis comes over to the Lakers, especially if Kyrie goes to the Lakers. I want to stay with Golden State and have to compete with that. No, I'll go to the weak East. I'll go to the weak East, get to the finals.
He's going to run away from his big bad boogeyman in front of him? No.
Hold on.
I am going to hedge my bets to try to get to the finals, because if I can get to the finals, then that increases my chances of getting a championship.
Here's the thing. You're calling it the weak East, but that means Boston lost Kyrie, so that means they're losing less talent.
Yes.
They lost out on Anthony Davis, so that means they're not adding another superstar.
So they're getting weaker.
Okay. Right. But what I'm trying to say is that they're only losing one player in Kyrie Irving. And that makes it harder for Kawhi Leonard to go there. It makes it harder for Klay Thompson to go there. It makes it harder for... I know you're going to bring up the Clippers. Just let me finish.
It could be movers.
I think the thing is that right now, it's not really... There's yes, the West is deeper. But I think you look at the East, and the East is, again, now an actual competitor to a team in the West. Whoever comes out of the West and whoever comes out of the East, it's going to be a great finals this year. It's not going to be like it was last year. Yeah. That is my point.
The Bucks are legitimate. The Raptors are legitimate. And then even that second tier of teams with the Celtics and the Sixers.
The Sixers have proven themselves. I think after this Tobias trade, I think they've looked really good after making this move. And I think you look at the Celtics team, the Celtics team's coming together.
We don't know that, though, until we see it.
But you've watched them play games against each other.
Yeah, when watching them play, the talent difference is not too drastic.
But like you have said, playoff mode is different than regular season mode.
It's really only like that for LeBron James. I mean,
no,
and DeMar DeRozan in the opposite
get different in the playoffs compared to the regular season.
But the talent doesn't. And that means you're going to see more of the talented players out there.
Yes, I'm going to see more of the Warriors.
Yeah, that's if you listened, I said that the Warriors are the only team that has separated themselves from that.
And that's
but
what
I think
I'm saying.
if you're comparing the two to the,
it's not going to be that close because I'm going to see more KD, Steph, Clay, and it's game over mode.
Okay, but we're talking about Kevin Durant.
No, I know.
Here, so Kevin Durant really doesn't.
Forget it.
Okay,
go on.
I just think that you can't really take in the conferences. Is what I'm saying, because again, like if KD leaves, the Warriors are already taken down, and every playing field's level. Maybe the Lakers do make that rise up, and maybe the Lakers become the dominant team. But also, we have seen LeBron with a dominant team choke in the finals before. He's lost to Tim Duncan. He's lost to Dirk Nowitzki. Him going to the finals is not a foregone conclusion that they are going to win. It's not like the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have been extremely competitive. You guys even say their one loss shouldn't even happen because Draymond shouldn't have been suspended. So we're talking about really a team that is... I know. We're talking about a team, though, that has been on a historic run, and I don't think we're going to get to that level ever again. I think the talent right there with LeBron, Kyrie, AD, if that happens, it's stupid. I just think that Kevin Durant would be foolish to pass up his ability to max out his time at Golden State. And when he's 34, he's still going to be able to put up 25 a night on extremely efficient numbers because he's, near 7 feet tall and has one of the sweetest strokes I've ever seen in the NBA. He's an extremely smart player, and I don't think you're really selling yourself short if you stay in Golden State because you're still going to put yourself at the best advantage to win a finals because even if Clay leaves, even if Draymond leaves, you have Steph Curry on your team. And Steph and Kevin Durant is a more potent combination than I think LeBron and AD because they have that chemistry that has built up over the past 2 years.
And that's because, like, in your mind, and this is where we're different, your mind, no matter what happens in the West, you still see the Warriors as the best and can getting through it. No matter what the Lakers add, no matter what the Clippers add, the Warriors will still get out of it. Where I look at it and go, these teams are adding this, the road is going to get tougher. I'm not as confident at these Warriors being able to run through the West like they used to if the Lakers add like a Kyrie and AD, if the Clippers get a Kawhi Leonard, if this West becomes more log-jammed. And if I'm KD, I might look at that and go, hey, why sign a max, like why sign the contract here and stay when I can go over to New York and yes, I still have the Bucks there. Yes, I still have the young Celtics. Yes, I might have the 76ers at like the 76ers and Bucks at most might be the two that you got to look at. But yet again, what happens to Chris mid? And it comes back to what we said. He's not going to make his decision July 1st. He's going to wait and see what happens. And if more stars go over to the West, I'd go East. I'd pump fake. You go West, I go East.
So he's ducking competition because KD ain't nothing but a bitch is what you're saying.
No.
That's your point, is he doesn't want to face adversity, so he's taking the easy route. Take the hardest road, right? Right? That's the KD approach?
But it's smart. Wouldn't you go
if you're trying to define your career as being better than the best player in the NBA for the last decade plus, then wouldn't you want to face him?
No, I want to get to the finals. Whatever gets me to the finals.
Here's the thing that you've been saying about LeBron James, though, is that he's beat up the weak East.
Yeah.
So you're immediately discounting
That's
him
how you're
because of what he's
gonna
doing.
grow
So
as
you're
a
saying
player?
Kevin Durant should do the same thing?
Well, I mean, look at LeBron got to the finals and lost. Like, what do we look at when we talk about LeBron's legacy? We don't say I brought up the weak East as a
greatest
joke,
athlete to ever
and
play.
mainly it's because you fucking hate whenever I bring up the weak East.
Yeah.
But
Because it's annoying and not true.
But whenever we talk about LeBron and we look at the GOAT discussion, LeBron and MJ, 6-0 compared to all the losses that LeBron has. When KD, if he wins in New York, nobody is going to compare the road that he got there. They're just going to say he got there.
What if Kevin Durant goes in his first year with Kyrie Irving and Zion Williamson and does not even make it to the finals? What does that mean to his legacy?
And then we'll have to look at it.
Is that a legacy
but
breaker?
That's the risk that you take. I wouldn't say it was a legacy.
I think that's a risk, and what I'm coming back to is I think that's a risk you take at 34. That's all.
I disagree because
I think you do that after you have more rings.
34 and up, I feel like that's like almost like a, if it happens, it happens. Where between 30 to 34, you're going to have more drive to get it done.
He's not D Wade with a ton of injuries that's slowing him down. Or
He's
Dirk
7
Nowitzki
feet
or
tall
Kobe,
with one of the greatest
Kobe Bryant.
touches.
Yeah, I mean, he's had an injury riddled season before, but outside of that, he's had fairly great health.
Yep.
Not to LeBron levels, but fairly great health. I'm not too worried about his body breaking down. He's been able to do the same thing over and over again.
He
year
doesn't
after
play
year.
rough in the paint. He's not bodying guys up. He plays
only
a
does
safe game.
Defensively in the playoffs. I just think that Kevin Durant is a guy that you extremely just maximize your time, go after, get the rings, and then take your risk later in your career.
Yeah, who knows when you'll have another opportunity to be on one of the greatest teams ever.
You won't. Because this is the greatest team ever. So when is that going to come around? Maybe not until the next 50 years from now.
I mean, it took 20 for this one to happen, so it's probably about the same.
The greatest team ever was the Celtics.
It was the Chicago Bulls.
11 titles.
It was the Bulls. Before the Bulls, it was the Celtics. That's what I'm saying. It's about 20 years every time.
Or Showtime Lakers, if you want to do that too. I'm saying, if you want to take, if we're taking decades, probably Spurs.
If you're the team of the decade.
Warriors, maybe. Spurs, Bulls, Showtime Lakers, then what? Probably Celtics.
Yeah.
Right? Or
the 70s? Yeah, it would be the Celtics. Right?
We need John to answer this question.
Celtics and the Sixers too. Celtics and the Sixers too. Anyways, that's going to do it for the Kyrie KD stuff. It's mostly just KD. If KD goes, then
Kyrie will follow?
Probably.
50-50. Last thing. 50-50, do you think it's Kyrie goes to play with KD or LeBron? Which one would you rather play with?
LeBron. Would I rather play with?
No, Kyrie.
I think he knows LeBron more. And I think that's more intriguing to go to LA, where he seems to have a control over what's going on. And also with Kyrie, clearly we brought up Uncle Drew in the last segment. He's got his eye on Hollywood, where I don't think KD does.
And they're going to be able to pick a new head coach next year.
Yeah, I guess.
No, they really did. That's...
Yeah. I mean, we're not sure that Luke's gone yet.
I'm 99.9.
Okay. But yeah, I think I'd be more intrigued to just join up with LeBron again. Because I think Kyrie had an overreaction. I don't think he actually hated LeBron. I think he wanted to be on his own.
He didn't want to be in the shadow.
Yeah. Ricky, do you think he goes KD or LeBron?
I would put the Lakers ahead of the Knicks.
There you go.
All right.
So New York, consolation prize.
So, yeah.
I mean on this.
Kevin Durant, that was a...
What's your percentage for KD?
No, where's your second max?
For KD, I'm going to say 75%. I'm still going to be... I think it happens more times. I feel like same thing's going to happen this year that happened last year with LeBron. You didn't think LeBron was going to LA. I did. And in the end, LeBron went to LA. I think the same thing's going to happen.
There was more clear reasons for LeBron to go to LA, though. They had a guy in Magic Johnson to sell him.
I still think it's going to happen.
KD in New York.
I still think it's going to happen.
Okay, that's fine. Dave, percentage?
50... I'm going 50. It's 50-50.
I'll be the dick, 20%. And if KD and Kyrie,
zero.
And if KD and Kyrie, which I'll say that that's like a 5% chance that they both go. If they both go, I will buy an Eddie Curry jersey and wear it on this podcast. Anyways,
that works because we're both fans.